Hello there, commanders, and welcome back to National Cup. We are in the last match of round 3 between Spain and Ukraine, and we are on Total Book Forest, which I think now that it is the Spanish map of choice rather than the French one. The French preferring Salernum actually. Okay, let's disable the fog of war and see what the both teams are up to. Spanish team is deploying pike phalanxes around A, denying any approach angles for the incoming attackers from the Ukrainian team, which are going to consist of repeating crossbows, foxes, possibly, Hannibal spears, some cavalry as well. Let's disable that. That's Scipio cavalry, also Scipio infantry here inside C to be able to hold for a very long time against an elephant. So the Ukrainian team isn't bringing elephants, it is bringing 2 units of cavalry, 3 units of repeating crossbows, 2 units of archers, and the rest is infantry. We do see foxes in there. Meanwhile, the Spanish team has repeating crossbows only, so 3 units of ranged versus 5 in total. They have triple cavalry instead of just double. They have triple elephants, and then the rest is infantry with pikes and dogs sprinkled in. So yeah, a little bit more flexible, but maybe less powerful just in terms of raw power. There you go, Scorch Earth to lower the missile block chance, and repeating crossbows finding quite a satisfying volley, 25%, despite raised shields being used. Pike phalanx the very last second, but now that means they're more vulnerable to ranged fire, and there we go, already cut down to like 20% health. The Ukrainian team is going around and denying the healing at A, very nicely and early, and we still have an engagement here in the middle around the B flank, but closer to the Spanish healing zone as well. C still 1 minute to unlock, so let's not bother with that too much. 1 unit of pikes has been removed from the Ukrainian team's advance. Oh, hold the line, shield bashing to pike phalanx, but shield bash wasn't powerful enough, and pike phalanx was unable to be dropped. So now the Ukrainian infantry is going to just, well, I would say like mow down the pikes, but they're just pulling through. Already on top of A, another pike phalanx unit is incoming. Well, not really phalanx, fighting a shade, so they're a little bit slower, right? That's 31% slower. Pike phalanx being called ahead of point A, so they're not on top of it. And allied swords trying to pull through the phalanx itself. Phalanx thrust being cast. Oof, that is pretty bad. But the Spanish team needs to contest A, and that is what they do. They do manage to find their pikes on top of the point, but at what cost? They have already been severely damaged by the repeating crossbows. The allied Sula swords have been heavily damaged by their own pikes. And yeah, the Ukrainian team is definitely going to take a very nice advance, utilizing the repeating crossbows very nicely, and the Spanish team having really nothing to answer that. No cavalry support, arriving but too late, and it was like a lot of too narrow passages. The repeating crossbows could have been easily protected in there. But in the meantime, as the Ukrainian team captures A, the attack onto E has been launched as well. B has been was being captured a little bit, but that has been dealt with, and now the Spanish team is trying to do the same to the Ukrainian team. They're denying the healing zone behind E with their cavalry, probably in Oath. No, not in Oath. I don't know if Oath. No, it is in Oath. Okay, I clicked on the wrong unit. Sorry. And yeah, but the Ukrainian team is going to heal up over here. But Spanish team is already capturing the point, but the Ukrainians are going to make it in time. Ooh, that unit routed just now. But they do have pikes in there, but not in pike phalanx. They need to be kept that way. And the Ukrainian team is looking quite hot. The archers are here, but archers obviously cannot contest. Oh, but the cavalry is not going to deny the healing zone for the spearmen, as they have focused over here. They need to run and deny these units from getting out of the point. Can the Spanish team do it? Go, you see them, Go deny them from getting in. There we go, a little bit, but this is Hannibal phalanx, Hazardable phalanx actually. Well, nonetheless, double pay and pulling through also works wonders. So the Ukrainian team is going to contest E for the time being. It's almost been flipped, but almost means that the healing zone is here, and both Ukrainian, for a second Spanish, Ukrainian infantry and archers are going to respawn in here. Oh, pikes as well. Ooh, so yeah, the Spanish team needs to be fast in routing these Hasbros. They have pulled through quite heavily, so it should be quite easy to find some random flanks on them. But then again, it's hoplite phalanx, so it is truly random as to where the flanks are actually in there. And now the Spanish team is also trying to launch a counter-attack onto A. Let's see that succeeds. The Ukrainian team has even more. That's Hannibal Spears. There we go. Cavalry Spears. So they have both Hannibal and Hasdrubal Cavalry Spears. The rules prevent them from getting both the spears on either Hasdrubal or Hannibal. Now the Ukrainian team is getting C. The repeating crossbows have been moved over here to deal with an elephant. They are the perfect counter to the elephant as well. And C is going to be captured by the Ukrainian team, and they are controlling 4 points out of 5 at the moment. E almost lost. Can the Spanish actually do? The repeating crossbows are doing quite a lot of work here. The pikes are going to go down to their fire. The Hasdrubal spears almost dead. Just 6 units left, so 6 soldiers. But another unit of swords have made it on top of the point. The repeating crossbows are working 24/7 to get those units out. Oh, they should have really focused the swords here, not the spears. And yeah, the healing zone has not been denied. A little bit of a misplay by the Spanish team, as they could have denied that, but instead they focused too much pursuing the cavalry in oath onto here, just instead of denying the healing for the spears and then for everything else. So, well, a slight misplay by the Spanish team, but in a scenario like this, when you're trying to capture a point that has a healing zone available, which is all the points unless they're flipped, well, it is truly an uphill battle. Speaking of uphill, A is in a much easier position to take, really, because, yeah, just look at this, it's a much easier approach. Just one cliff, one elevation, is small elevation as well. Healing zone is not much elevation either. It's easy to, like, flank and go around. Well, here, huge elevation, a labyrinth, a spiral of high approaches, high slopes. So yeah, this is a little bit of an imbalance of this map, really, when it comes to Table Forest and many other maps. But as I said multiple times, Table Forest is one of the heaviest offenders. But nonetheless, Spanish team is looking to still launch a counterattack onto A, as both teams are reinforcing the area. The elephants have been put again on top of C, trying to buy time, going against Hannibal spears. Not very good idea, and the repeating crossbows are still in the area. But if the repeating crossbows need to deal with elephants over here, they cannot help the Ukrainian team to defend A, and A is going to be captured. They should be able to prevent these foxes from getting out of the point. There we go. Cavalry charge is going to do just that, although it is dodged, but infantry is also in here. The fox try to get through, they will get stopped. There we go. 2 units capturing A. The point has already been flipped, so no healing zone over here for the Ukrainian team, and the Spanish team is going to get back in control of A, unless the Scipio cavalry can do that, but no, it can't. It has been routed, has been prevented from getting out of the point. And just a few seconds. Oh, repeating crossbows are in here. The phalanxes are still alive, and well, this Scipio cavalry has unrouted. Oh, this may not go the way of the Spanish team. The Spanish team has their own reinforcements approaching. The elephant is disrupting the repeating crossbows, as the repeating crossbows have focused on dealing with the units on top of A. But now that Scipio cavalry is most likely in oath, or is it? It is going to rout now. So there we go. The foxes are the last thing left. Repeating crossbows. I don't care. They just need to clear the foxes. Doesn't really matter. Oh, it routed. Sula probably whipped himself into routing. That was unlucky. Definitely unlucky. But doesn't matter that much. That was just one unit. And now the Spanish team is definitely going to get a back. Unless... no, it's not going to. Yeah. Not fast enough on the side of the Scipio cavalry of the Ukrainian team. It's going to find a really nice charge at the back of the dog handlers anyway. So that was pretty good. Warcry being used, Offer Perseverance, yep, there we go, being used as well. And now the range duel between a Russian and Spanish, but Ukrainian and Spanish. I'm going to get so much hate for this, and I guess deservedly so. But yeah, the Ukrainian... This guy keeps playing with Russian players, so... yeah, excuse me for using that. Oh, those are Guan Yu! Oh, I was like, why isn't he using Sight of the Dragon? Instead he's just running back and forth, just being shot instead of even running away to the healing zone. Now he's doing that. Guan Yu repeating crossbows. That's not very optimal. I mean, yeah, God of War. You can use God of War, but that's about it. It is a useful ability, don't get me wrong. But Zhuge Liang after buffs is pretty good, especially when it comes to dueling, right? Zhuge Liang is going to win every single time. C is still being contested by the Elephant and now Pikes, as the repeating crossbows of the Ukrainian team have been forced to go to A. Well, not really forced, but they have elected to do so. So that opens an opportunity for the Elephant to contest the point for quite a long time. It has elected, though, to fight against Outporter's Hannibal Spears. So yeah, it is going down quite quickly. As you can see, the HP bar is dropping quite fast. Foxes are going to arrive as well with their hamstring to deny the Elephant from moving fast, but that doesn't really matter. It is already down. The Pikes are going to be cleared, and well, the healing zone over here for the Ukrainian team is making wonders, is working wonders. So it's very, very difficult for the Spanish team to get C. But let's see how battle is now going to go. Spanish team is quite a predicament at the moment. They're healing over here on A as the Ukrainian team is launching an attack. Pretty nice charge over here, but mostly missed into the repeating crossbows, but they are going to be disrupted for the time being as the Hannibal Spears arrive to deal with the pesky cavalry that has charged the range. And now the Ukrainian team is going to start the capture of point A, but 3 units of dog handlers are pouring in from the healing zone, so they should be able to make it on top of A, sooner or later anyway. But they do. The Ukrainian team is trying their best to prevent them from getting in. So far, they're still not in, still not in, still not contesting. There we go, now they are contesting, but have suffered quite large casualties. But as all elephants have been killed, now they get to respawn over here, walking over the point, and they will be able to hold the point for quite a while. But there are still Hannibal's spearmen in here, although almost dead, but also repeating crossbows. And one of the elephants is already down to half HP, the other one is also like 60%, this one is 80%, so suffered quite a huge casualties, but 3 elephants still, and healing zone extremely close. The dogs that have literally just been wrecked, they'll be back in literally 10 seconds. So not much of a delay there, unless they can be denied the healing by those Foxmen. Well, yeah, repeating crossbows are going to take care of that, dogs are going to help as well, but that is going to deny the healing, or delay the healing, for a little bit. The elephants are not going down. This one, ooh, that was fast. Did the repeating crossbows kind of the Spanish team contribute to that as well? Doesn't really matter, they still have 1 elephant left. The other 2 are dead though, so it can be used to bring back the 3rd elephant, as it needs to defend the point, as everything else has been pushed out. Dogs, can they heal? There we go, they did manage to heal. They will be able to deal with that unit of infantry trying to deny the healing. Repeating crossbows will be able to shoot them in the back. A little bit of miscommunication there, but the volleys mostly miss. They have been stopped in time, otherwise the dogs would have been attacked. And there we go, now the Spanish team attempting a backup. Was it it was, yeah, the Spanish team, sorry, that's the French, yeah. It was the same maneuver, almost, that the Spanish team used against French. So now they're trying to do the same against the Ukrainians, trying to back up the... Can the Ukrainians react in time? The almost flipped. 1 unit only capturing, so the capture speed is quite slow, but 2 more will make it soon. These should be flipped, but should be captured. They need to react and stop them from getting in of the point. Charge being used, slightly misses. The unit will be able to go just hoplite phalanx and pull through and make it over the point. Charge was a little bit too late and not aimed well enough. And there we go, Ukrainians are contesting D, but it is flipped. So no healing zone for the Ukrainians, but as kind of a little bit of a unique feature of this map, C provides a healing zone very close to D, just as close as if it was the original D healing zone. So despite the point D being flipped, in, well, not in favor, but just neutral, and the Spanish team having a healing zone here of their own, well, the Ukrainian team has a healing zone of their own very close, but 3 units of repeating crossbows are going to be sent onto unprotected C. Cavalry is going to respawn over there, so that is going to be quite a mismatch if that happens. Oh, they don't see that coming at the moment. If they had sight of the dragon, they would. Now they definitely see that cavalry. Still going forward. Oh, there we go. Now they're shooting. Are you sure you don't want to get a little bit closer to your dogs? An early charge being called, so that is a misplay by the Ukrainian team as well, as charge from so far away is very easy to see and dodge. So good there on the good on the Spanish team there. And now the D has... Oh, the elephant just stopped. Was it a mistake or was he delayed? Probably late anyway. But yeah, now the Ukraine team able to heal up over here will be able to respond to the Spanish pressure that is being applied onto C. Let's see if they will be able to deny. They do have a sword unit denying the healing over here, but all these units are healed up anyway on D, and they will be able to get there. Now repeating crossbow duel. Yes, sight of the dragon allowing them to see them. Otherwise, I don't think there is anything else spotting them. So a sight of the dragon really working here for the Ukrainian team. But I have elected out of this range duel, as both teams repeating crosses are opting now to focus something else. And yeah, the Spanish team is clearing the Ukrainian team out. We have only one. Yeah, that's oafed infantry. They need to prevent the other infantry from getting over the point. Oh no, pike phalanx has been called despite some friendly fire. No pike phalanx over here though, so the Foxmen will be able to get through, possibly. This unit needs to be finished and routed. There we go, now it is going down, but it's still in oath. Elephants making their way over here, but they're not going to really help that much. Foxmen need to be stopped from getting on top of a C. There's really nothing able to do that. Swords have made its way over there anyway. And well, D is being back-capped by cavalry. Does the current team see this? Yes, now they see. They are reacting to it. So D is not going to be back-capped by one unit of cavalry. C is not going to go the way of the Spanish team. In the meantime, we do have like back and forth exchanges over here on B. Still looking that way. Let's see if the Ukraine team, that is now quite close to capturing B, if they can do that and put it to a close. The archers are being chased around the ring around the Rosie, or ring around the sword unit in this case. The cavalry can go and attack here, for example, the pikemen from back. It would be a really nice charge. They're trying to get the archers for some reason. Like, these archers are not really doing that much. Just charge the infantry, apply a reflank, use war cry, use Scipio. This would be way more useful rather than running into swords. Yeah, that is not going to work that well. An elephant is being sent over here, so maybe that's why they wanted to remove archers. That makes a little bit more sense now. It's like, yeah, archers are a little bit of a counter to an elephant, like soft counter, very soft. Speaking of counters and being hard, yeah, those spikes are hitting hard. That is a hard counter to an elephant. So yeah, probably removing those spikes in the end would have been a better investment than trying to remove the archers. And pikes were wide open for a recharge and a war cry. Well, the Ukrainian team is also clearing the Spanish team out of C. And as the battle is a little bit slow, on the slow part, but they're slowly but surely definitely winning, holding 3 points out of 5. A little bit of points contestation, right? So C being contested, B being contested, and possibly capped. Yeah, there we go. Now that the battle is going to accelerate if the Ukrainian team manages to cap it. Cavalry finally finds half a charge into one of the archer units, but it will be able to use oath, yep, and buy some time for the Spanish team to respawn over here. 2 players dead for the Spanish team, one on 50 seconds cooldown, the other one we don't really see, but they will be able to heal up here and maybe make their way into B quickly enough. But ooh, this is being cut down very, very quickly. Yeah, Hazardable Caesar, yep, all of that working really, really well. Archers as well. They were able to cut down cavalry in time. And the Spanish team is not going to be able to respawn at B, not able to hold it, and now they have only A. So the only hope they have is now push from A to D, get D, and well, since they're not really going to win on points, they will need to capture the enemy base. But the Ukrainian team is here, able to defend. They do have a lot of forces. Also, Scipio is present, so off Perseverance out of the point is definitely going to buy a lot of time. But this one has been routed, despite being Scipio. So oath hasn't been used, maybe it wasn't available, I don't really know. And yep, the Spanish team is slowly pushing, but presence of 2 healing zones, very conveniently placed, able to heal and send units as reinforcements to D from 2 angles. Spanish team, yeah, healing zone is here, but it is very, very far away. compared to what the Ukraine team has available. So it is going to be very difficult for the Spanish team to come back in this battle. That is kind of like the problem with just all the healing zones in Telovo Arena, that it's very difficult to have a comeback victory. It is very difficult, because once a point is captured, it's very, very easy to defend, very, very hard to attack. And if the teams know what they're doing, and here they do, like, you don't see that many points captures, right? K has been captured, he has been recaptured, and C has been captured, B has been captured, but not like many recaptures other than here over a day. So that was good, but there is one recapture in one battle. And most of the battles don't really see any recaptures. Like, once the point is lost and captured, it's most likely going to stay that way, unless some heavy shenanigans like big base captures are being thrown around, and maybe we can see some recaptures. But then it was mostly like a back cap rather than like a proper contest, like we see here. In a proper contest, the defending team has a huge advantage, and that is going to lead to Ukrainian victory. So they're leading the battle 1-0, looking to stay tied with Russia onto the first place. So far, so good. Next battle in 2 days. Until then, you can help us. Well, in the meantime, there we go. In the meantime, you can help us bringing back Arena to the west. You already know what to do that, to achieve that. And until then, I'll see you on Arena's Battlefields, Commanders. Finally improving on my outros. Hey. End screen, maybe. Maybe not. Well, that is for future Mistru to see and decide.